Hey YouTube, Jam here. Welcome back to the gaming station. With the May update coming soon, the devs are of course going to do another round of balance changes. And since I love talking about balancing brawlers, I'm excited to make a video about it. Okay, so this month we have a lot of buffs going around, and it's definitely a good thing as a decent amount of brawlers have been struggling to find their spot in the meta. But I wouldn't have said that Barley was one of those brawlers. Well, apparently Supercell thought that Barley needed a little love. They're buffing the duration of his gadget to 4 seconds and the size of it by 25%. I know people didn't like Barley's gadget very much, so it's a decent change. It will make it more useful when people are starting to get too close to him, as he can now drop it a little earlier and give himself more time to make space between himself and his opponent. And now I'm going to mention all of these at the same time because from the way I'm reading it, they want these to become more of a standardized thing. Barley, Bo, and Brock are all having fixed patterns implemented into their supers, as opposed to them being launched randomly. So to me, it sounds like how when right now you throw bow mines, they kind of go off in different directions each time you throw them. That will be changed to be more of a set pattern. The same thing will apply to Brock and Barley. Call me a noob, but I thought that Barley and Brock already had set patterns. Well, anyway, now they will. I think this is a decent change, albeit a little unexpected. Less RNG in a match can be a good thing, and this will make it easier to get out of Brock and Barley supers once you learn the pattern. And if you play Bo, now you need to make sure no one sees you lay your mines even more than before, because now they will have set spots, and good players will memorize these spots and trip them, limiting the value you're going to get. Okay, next up, B is getting a gadget buff. Her area of effect is increasing by 20%, and now it will be deployed above her head instead of below her. I'm not exactly sure how that spawn changes anything about it, honestly. I don't think it's going to save her gadget. The real issue with her gadget was the HP on the honeypot itself, in my opinion. Maybe the increased area of effect will take up a few more tiles so it can be placed behind walls, so that might give it a few more uses, but that's about it. Next up, 8-Bit's gadget will no longer destroy his station when used. This is probably a decent change, because the station is a big thing that made 8-Bit viable in 3v3 modes, so consuming it when playing in those modes kinda hurt your team in a way. However, I think 8-Bit will still struggle in 3v3 modes, as this wasn't his biggest issue. Piper's gadget is getting a full rework. Now instead of shooting 4 shots, it's only going to shoot 1, and it will both slow and knock back the opponent it hits. This is going to be a really good gadget in my opinion, giving her both a slow and a knockback, plus she already has a super that can escape from people. Piper is going to be a lot stronger in this upcoming month, I think. Alright, next up I got another group of balance changes. Dynamite, Daryl, and Mortis are all now going to be able to move when using their gadgets. I know this was a big issue for the three of them, especially Dynamite, as he was a sitting duck during the use of his gadget. I don't think that Dynamite and Mortis are going to benefit a ton from this though, as they have other problems than just their gadgets. Daryl is getting a little bit more done to his gadget than just movement though. They are also reducing the amount of damage each bullet from his gadget does, but each one that lands will charge 25% of his super. This change is really interesting to me. It could still be a useless gadget, but 25% of your super from just one bullet is a lot, and it could make him a much better assassin by allowing him to spam his super a lot more often. We'll have to see how this works in-game. Carl is getting a buff to the damage of his super. This is a good change, as he's been pretty bad ever since they nerfed his protective pirouette star power. Carl's super can be game-changing if you manage to get a kill or two at the right time with it in a match. I do like this change. Sandy is getting a buff to his main attack damage. This is an odd change, as I feel like Sandy was kind of balanced this last month. I like Sandy, and I don't mind seeing him get a little bit stronger, but I don't think he really needed a buff. Also, his super is still a bit of a problem, and if he becomes meta again, people will definitely complain about him. Okay, now it's time for the nerfs. This month we only have 2 nerfs. BB is getting a small HP nerf, and I think we all saw this coming. Her speed buff made her so strong in the game. She was dominant in Brawl Ball, Heist, and Siege. I'm glad they didn't revert her speed buff, as I feel like she was outshined by all other mid to close range brawlers in the game, except for maybe Shelly. Personally, I thought they would go with a damage nerf, but I'm on board with an HP nerf too. And the last brawler on the list is Sprout. He's getting a main attack damage reduction. Again, this is another brawler I think we all knew was going to get a nerf. He was way too strong when he was released. I don't think this is really going to take him out of the meta though, as he will still be able to chip brawlers as his shots are very easy to land, and his walls will still offer great utility to his team. So, overall, I like these changes. I like the buffs to Barley's gadget, and I'm really interested in seeing how Piper's and Daryl's perform in-game. I think Piper's is going to be very good for her, but like I said, I'm not sure about Daryl's. It really depends on how frequently his gadget lands shots, and if it's going to make him too good at spamming his super. As far as the nerfs, I'm pretty sure BB and Sprout are still going to be in the meta. I won't lie, I would have complained if BB got a heavier nerf, like if they reverted her speed or something, as I think she was finally in a good spot and felt good to play. And as for Sprout, I don't think they did enough to make him less viable in the meta. I'm not saying I want him to be nerfed into the ground, but they could have done a little more, like a supercharge rate nerf or a wall duration nerf. We'll have to see how this next month goes. Let me know what you think about these balance changes down in the comments. What do you dislike or like about them? Also, what are some brawlers you would have liked to see that weren't included, whether they got a buff or a nerf, in your opinion? I want to thank everyone for watching, and also, we're almost to 50 subs. So, if you're not subscribed yet and you enjoyed this video, please hit that sub button. It would mean a lot to me. When I started this channel, my goal was to have 100 subs by the end of the year. And to be almost halfway there only a few months in is huge to me. Feel free to check out some of my other videos as well. I do a lot of video on balance change suggestions I see from the Reddit community, as well as some gameplay videos. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.